So after the king of 1v1s quote unquote gets clapped by his little brother, Naruto realizes that he might never see his glorious king again. And whole time, Sasuke just chilling in Madara, yes, Madara's hideout. And if I see anybody commenting about this so-called Madara guy, you're banned. But nevertheless, just like anybody else who's seen Naruto, Sasuke starts to think about Itachi, which leads to Madara asking if he wants to implant his eyes, therefore giving him that infamous EMS that so far only one known person has ever had. And yet, having that Uchiha pride, Sasuke says no. And in about 15 minutes, I promise, he go regret that decision. Because we fast forward to the leftovers of the Akatsuki in an evil lair where Madara tells Team Taka that they're joining without them giving any type of consent. But we all know this freak need to be put on the list anyway. But this is when they get their first mission, to capture the Eight Tails. Meaning for the first time in the series, we get to take a trip to the cloud. Might have to put a little something in the air for this occasion. Surely, that has nothing to do with the name Cloud Village though. Right, Kishimoto? And also, if we lucky, we might get to see Miss Sami over there too. Really get to put my one-on-one skills to the test. They be calling me James Harden for real. But we start seeing an NPC getting knocked into a fence and then just standing there not showing no types of resistance. Bro might be the worst security guard of all time. As then Suigetsu wraps around the fence, putting bro in a wet headlock to ask where is the 8-tailed Jinchuriki. And keep in mind, both of this dude's arms are free. He's choosing to let this happen. He might be out here separated from civilization for a reason. But either way, he starts capping, saying that he'd never snitch. And that him and his clan always stay 10 toes down. Don't be no Big Macs in the interrogation room. Leaving no other choice but for the prince to step up. And now look at bro's face. All that talking tough just flew out the window. Look at his eyes, he know it too. I could see it from a mile away. So Sasuke flexes that brand new Mangekyo on him that makes him drop down to his knees, where he word by word, bar for bar, doxes B's address, what he looked like, how many tattoos he got, how many swords he got, everything, before passing out, making Sasuke hit the speed. There really ain't no loyalty these days. Imagine being a literal superhuman ninja and you still fold it to somebody just because they looked in your eyes. I would never. It's like a Reddit mod seeing a woman in person. They're folding instantly. It could be Sydney Sweeney, Zendaya, Beyonce, Megan Thee Stallion. It don't matter. That would never be me. Right? Hell no! Trash ass nigga. Nevertheless though, Sasuke hits his dramatic turnaround going into the runway walk right through his group of D1 Glazers. He probably thought he was so tough doing this, like buddy. Ain't nobody impressed by you walking beside Karin. I promise. I mean, just look at her. Can't even keep the Uchiha off her mind for 2 minutes to focus on the mission. I ain't seen a woman this down bad in hours. But anyway, we get this drone POV through the hills before going into a cave where these huge freaky tentacles looking fresh out of Diddy's closet all go morphing back down into a big black man. Interesting. But then he goes stepping out to get some of that vitamin D that ends up putting him in such a good mood, his ass start breakdancing out the crib. Look at these stiff ass back shots he do. No wonder he in there by himself. But after he finishes this goofy Mickey Mouse clubhouse ass dance, his black senses start tingling, making him go jumping down right in front of Team Taka, giving us the standoff. And Sasuke being Sasuke immediately gets disrespectful, not calling him by his name, but as 8 Tails. And once again, the Black and B couldn't let that slide. So Unk start pressing him like, nah, young blood. That's Lord Jinchuriki, sir, to you. So your bum ass better come correct next time before I have to show you 8 Tails. But since Sasuke grew up with no discipline, he don't care. Making B give him his last warning before he have to take off his belt, making Sasuke tell Suigetsu to take the right and Jugo to take the left. And Karin, stay your trash ass in the back and out the way. We don't need no gooning on the battlefield. It's gonna be wet enough with Suigetsu as it is. And speaking of, Suigetsu makes the first move, going running in, cocking back his sword, and jumping up, going crashing through the ground, about destroying the map 3 seconds into the fight. And all for B to just be in here blocking it and with a smile on his face. This should let you know Unk is nothing to play with, before he then snatches out the blade, making it come landing right beside him, now giving him 2 big swords.
You need to leave.
And seeing this, Jugo decides this may be a match more his style, telling Suigetsu to get the hell out the way. But that's when B picks up the sword just to look through it and proceeds to fry Team Taka, saying they got less brain cells combined than he got in a good nut, making Jugo go running in as we go back to this goofy ass old man twirling the executioner's blade on his neck and working crazy. I'm sorry, but if I'm fighting somebody and they whip this out, I'm turning into King Von and ending the violence. I wouldn't even want to box no more. I'm trying to fight and this grown man is out here hitting a helicopter. I'm going home. And to make it worse, then he smacks Jugo's dumbass with it. Saw a grown man hula hooping with an 8-foot sword on his neck and thought to run in for a tackle instead of, I don't know, blasting the neck. So now, after getting some sense knocked into him, he brings out that nasty middle school mystery meat arm, cocking it back and then grabbing the sword, taking it off of B, leaving him back here just smirking, not stressing in the slightest. Before we pan out to Kareem, who's back here in pure shock because we just hear Jugo get smacked, sending him falling to the ground after one punch, thinking he fighting Saitama, and leaving B standing here, oh so disappointed, as we even look down to see this man is slow. Got him hitting the thriller. And to add on to the humiliation, Playboy Cardi start rapping over his sleeping body and in front of his glorious king too. Sasuke might never respect bro again. As we look down to see even his little curse mark go away too, trying to hide from the embarrassment. As B snatches bro by the collar, picking his big ass up, then yeeting him back to the ground where he looked like he sleep again. This might be the most disrespectful man in the series so far. Got me feeling like I'm watching a Saiyan after they just found out they're stronger than you. They don't even want to fight no more. It just turned into a humiliation ritual. And so finally, the prince decides that it's his turn. As he's so calm and nonchalantly goes walking up, not even needing to open his eyes. Golly, he's so tough. And noticing the aura, B don't even try to fight it. He instead start asking why the freak are they trying to kidnap somebody at his big old age, leading Sasuke into a I swear I'm the main character ass yap session before he whips out a sword of his own that of course gets Kareem weak in the knees. Can't imagine what would happen if he put out his other sword. And so now we get the real face off. The sushi of the cloud versus the lone Uchiha. Hopefully it's time for this badass little boy to finally get some built. But the way he been running through everybody and shipping, it's looking like he finna add a black man to the list. Damn. Equality, I guess. Nice. So Sasuke readies up, jumping in the air, swinging down the sword, but B just smacks his little ass away, sending him backflipping through the sky, looking like if speed met up a dude Dennis. Before B just starts spinning, twirling all the way to Sasuke, who still blocks him, but the kinetic energy was too much, sending him sliding back, making him leap up, deflecting the sword, and now he starts spinning crazy, giving us a spin-off like it's Lil Durk vs King Von, until B stops and we see Sasuke put his sword on B's hole.
Pause! What did I just see? What did I?
Which stopped him from spinning and lets him come in with a clean kick to the throat, even making B realize he different. And now somehow they both freeze in this position for like 7 seconds, just completely defying gravity, before B gets his hand ready to bring out his notepad and add a couple of bars to it, which is mad disrespectful. Do you not realize you're fighting against the prince, my brother? The brother of the Itachi Uchiha? Yet somehow have the audacity to write down them trash ass 10-year-old lotto bars.
I got a crush on you, boy. I got a crush on you.
And so Sasuke picks up and launches the executioner's blade back to Suigetsu as B continues to write down hot garbage. Like, look at this, bro. His ass is not cooking shit. But luckily, he closes it, letting them know he just wrote down some heat that will be dropping on all platforms sometime soon. So make sure you set your alarm to remind you to not open Spotify that day. Before he goes reaching for his blicks and then tossing them all into the air that come falling down into every crevice and hole that this man has, revealing his patented 8-sword style, just shitting on Zoro, who could never. But honestly, I wouldn't want him to. I mean, look at B's right arm, bro. There is no possible way this is an optimal fighting position. Then you look at his legs like, bro, are you just finna hopscotch around the battlefield or am I tripping? And so of course, everybody else is confused too, except Sasuke, who is completely locked in. Until B jumps up going spinning again, coming down right on Sasuke as he goes through pressing this boy. My bro is sword fighting while doing a handstand. Look at Sasuke's face, bro, he's stressing crazy. But then he ducks under as B throws his sword, catches it, and keeps spamming the offense, making Sasuke back up. Then he try to get on offense, and now look at him. Bro is in way over his head. He's finally realizing this is what it's like to fight somebody who's not literally on life support. So then B launches himself out the frame, strikes a pose, then follows suit, where he proceeds to keep pressing Sasuke, sending him back to the ground, and deciding to switch it up, thinking he's still a YN, as he starts sniping with his swords that all get dodged, letting him go scooping them back up, pulling up on Sasuke, who looking like he trying to dip. I'm telling y'all, if whoever he trying to fight not handicapped, he don't want no smoke for real. And that's even with him knowing he got 3 meat riders backing him up. But B still pulls up on him, and yet they both just start moving crazy. Even though I am hating, he is boxing somebody with 8 swords right now, bro. So at least he'll be leaving here with something. He might be missing a couple things, but he's still leaving with something. But they keep going till damn. Cut on his arm, back to it, damn. Cut on the fit, and slice that cheekbone. But looking at this face, this is ugly anyway, it don't even matter. Except for the fact you could tell he knows he's cooked. But they still go back to scrapping till we get a smooth slow motion shot and go in to see Sasuke analyzing every minute detail of the swords, doing the analyze this shit in real time. Before we see him in utter shock with a shadow on his face like he's somebody's stepsis, as B comes booming into the ground, then grabs his sword and they get a heavy clash, leaving Sasuke bent over like he ducking some Shaq free throws, before B then sweeps him off his feet, putting him horizontal in the air and following it up, smacking bro with the sword, sending him flying all the way back to being laid out on the ground. And for the first time, Team Taka is nerve-wracked about their leader possibly losing, even though he ain't got a real W since Shippuden started anyway. But regardless, Sasuke gets up, deciding to finally switch up the game plan, as he starts up hand signs to, of course, bring out the old reliable teammate finisher Chidori. All y'all Team Taka better watch out too, especially you, Karin, before he goes running in, picking up his sword on the way, just for them to clash lightning sword with lightning sword. That's what I'm talking about, man. Of course, they give the brother lightning powers. I mean, it's only right. Gotta get that speed stat up. And Sasuke been terrorizing everybody he's seen so far with this junk anyway. It's about time somebody else got it. Bro had Yamato sitting on the ground like a good boy, was all up in Orochimaru's chest with it, perfectly countered Datara with it, and even almost clapped Itachi with it. But you know, of course, that junk can't work on him because, you know, he really different for real. But now that he's met his match, that boy is appalled. Finally seeing plot armor that is not on his side. Yet, even leaving his group of meat riders in disarray too. Even in jail, they ain't see him get done this dirty. But to add on to the disrespect, then B shows off all 32 of his veneers, trying to cosplay as Dude Dennis when he's around any woman, until he slowly raises an arm and then a leg before cooking Sasuke, filling him up with swords, like he was impersonating Bonnie Blue. And Taka can't believe it. They for sure thought that plot armor was gonna kick in, as Sasuke head snapped back like he got sniped, and he goes crashing to the ground. But using that mama mentality, B still rushes in to finish the job, making Suigetsu and Jugo go running in to try and stop him. Except B jumps up mad high to try and come down and annihilate this man. Oh my gosh. There was no reason for him to be doing all this, bro. A simple headshot would do the trick. But of course, Sasuke looks up with his "Hello darkness, my old friend" ass life flashing before his eyes before getting saved by Suigetsu. And even though him and Jugo up at the same time, he's stuck here struggling by himself, allowing B to turn his lightning back on and go cutting through the executioner's blade. And so, being a nice guy, of course, he just sits here letting him cut through it, making Sasuke have to lower Chidori to grab the blade and cancel it out. And finally, Jugo slides in with that monstrosity of an arm cockback, rocking this old man, as Suigetsu breaks his sword too. And for the finishing touches, Jugo spawns in the heavy artillery and completely blasts on through the crust of the planet, sending him down there to have a cipher with X, leaving us to see Karin taking the swords out of Sasuke, who's somehow still alive. I guess just to flex on Jiraiya since he couldn't handle all that. And since she low-key been fiending this whole time anyway, she pulls out her STD encrusted arm, telling him to take a bite. And since he know it can't get worse than giving his body to Orochimaru, he without hesitation chomps down about making this girl explode. You'd think that was me biting down or something. But through the power of Orochimaru and no protection, he starts to fully heal up, as he go panning up on the crash site, where wouldn't you know it, B is up here chilling, and without a single scratch on him too. Do not ask me how. But now, since Karina got the life sucked out of her like the roles reversed, and so Sasuke gets up to rejoin the battle, leaving us at part 3 of the face-off until B pounces forward, making Jugo start charging up. Suigetsu goes swinging his sword and Sasuke run in with the Chidori. And real quick, in like the 5 times I've watched Naruto, not once have I realized how ass these frames were. Look, who are these people? But Suigetsu misses his sword swing, letting B jump onto Jugo's back thinking he MJ in Space Jam. That even somehow made Jugo's leg look like he got the Reed Richards treatment and like somebody stepped on his face, with B's arm looking like he got ran over until he jumps off, dodges Suigetsu again and putting his butt in the air in an insane pose, like he waiting for his cellmate. And for some reason, Sasuke up here smirking like it's him before getting kicked away, then hit with an uppercut from the biggest bicep of all time, got Sasuke head squished like he been fighting the great Kali. As Jugo comes smashing down, separating him, letting B run back in with his arm cocked back, going right into Suigetsu's guts, making his freaky ass get mad with, hey yo, and then squirt on B's face. Hey yo, you can't even blame me for that one. Nope. But now he's stuck, letting Sasuke come running in with another Chidori to fry these dudes. Got B in here tweaking like he getting some marvelous. And Sasuke even turned off friendly fire too, because Suigetsu gets complete and utterly finished. As Sasuke catches his body and B drops down to his knees with one hand on his hip too. Oh that. So while he's down here struggling for his life alert, we see Jugo jump up trying to come down and blow his back out, destroying even more of the map. But as he's looking down, he sees that it ain't nothing but a fat, empty hole, like going in after a year a long distance. GG's, brother. But then we start zooming out, and this man B is about on a completely different island, pulling a Gohan, ducking the fade. But he says he's done playing because he's trying to go home and get lit. And it's a shame too, because low-key, him and Jiraiya would have been a fire duo, bro. Talking about a 2-man of doom. 2 alcoholics that be fiending for my goat might be a problem though. Good thing one of them weak as hell. But anyway, Karin ends up using her super snitch ability to dox B's location, trying to get another black man wiped off the census, making Jugo charge up and launch Sasuke over there. And I must say, that boy got some dog in him. He delusional, but I can still respect it. To get done how he was just getting done and to decide to fly over for a 1v1, boy, you was one stupid mother. So seeing this, B decides it's time to turn up, putting that hand in the air going full rock star, and we see the chakra start to slowly take over his entire body, revealing his 8 tails cloak, which immediately gives Sasuke PTSD. I bet he can feel it in his stomach. What? And so he load up the Sharingan as B comes blitzing in. And bro, just look at the look of pure glee and joy on this man's face. Ain't nobody been this excited to fight since Rock Lee. This man is a crackhead. But of course, Sasuke nonchalantly dodges the attack, making B look back at it, saying ain't nobody dodged him in this form since his big black brother. So maybe this isn't finna be so one-sided after all. But as Sasuke lands on the hill, B gets that look of joy on his face again, meaning he is for sure up to no good as he goes speeding down the Taka. So Jugo takes him and blasts off as B booms into the ground, blowing up his whole crib, taking away his evil goonin lair. As Jugo even gets sniped by a rock, thinking he Kakashi, sending him sliding with Karin, as Suigetsu splashes into his natural habitat. So Sasuke pulls up to check on his team like the nice and genuine guy he is, before he starts yapping about how B only really moves in straight lines for real, so he should easily be able to dodge him. Sounds fair enough. So of course, with that own pride, B comes busting through the smoke to prove he does indeed have a bag, giving Sasuke no choice but to whip out that Mangekyo, taking B away to the land of Genjutsu. Maybe he'll run into the ghost of Kakashi in there, who knows, as his body goes plopping into the dirt, about as limp as a 40-year-old addict, leaving him slumped. Good night, little man. So now that the fight is over, Sasuke turns around holding his eye, fatigued from one basic Genjutsu, thinking he got Tsukiyomi or something. Buddy, you wish. Until out of nowhere, he gets clotheslined by B. So crazily, we even get a double replay as his chest goes splattering open like he a Kardashian or something. And look at the absolute peril in Suigetsu's face. That boy know his reps. As Jugo goes jumping up to save his glorious king, with Karin running over to check on her man. That's not her man. And what she sees is this man Sasuke with his chest literally blew open. Yet somehow, some way, he's still alive. What? Like, I'm sorry, but Kishimoto, brother, you've lost the plot. And hold on, while I got you here, how come Karin goes to try and breastfeed him to save him, and we see her chest covered in bite marks too? Why would you create this ability, Masashi? And also, why? Is it so many? Like it's not just one mark on her hand, but her whole chest is tatted up like she's a ball brother. Bro, you are sick. But luckily, Jugo was not letting his king go anywhere near that disgusted, infected area, saying that he'll take care of it. As he activates his curse mark, then starts using his hand to give Sasuke the Gok 3000, showing Karin how it's done, and saying he's about to merge bodies with him. And being an upstanding gent, instead of finishing the job like it's a happy ending, B just chills back here, deciding to give us a lore drop on how he was able to escape the Genjutsu. What a guy. Until suddenly, we see him start spawning in these fat tentacles that go filling up the screen, before eventually the 8 tails is finally revealed. And boy, that thing is hideous. Kishimoto was on straight nonsense and tomfoolery at this point, and seeing the monstrosity, Karin is in total shock. Eyes back here tweaking in fear like she having withdrawals. But luckily, Jugo is finally finishing up pumping Sasuke, meaning Karin can actually lock in and stop imagining the origin, and the prince can get his lick back. Yes. But all them calories Jugo just burned then turned bro back into a jit. Bro literally sacrificed his manhood for somebody he's known for like a month. This is crazy. And speaking of crazy, B loads up before launching forward before getting blasted from underneath by some water by, of course, none other than my dog Suigetsu. He went in that water waiting for his time to shine. And now B's dumbass has the audacity to say, "So you're a water style shinobi. I knew it. Like amigo, como se dice?" Stupid. Y'all be so excited pointing out the obvious, thinking you Albert Einstein. Yeah, I'm talking to all y'all. Everybody that still commented, "That's not Madara." I get it, bro. You're not smart. Anyway, though, B goes crashing into him and they start going back and forth, while Suigetsu tells Taka to go on without him, since he is indeed finna cook this with his biggest fear: swimming. So they don't even argue and start to skedaddle, leaving their own mans to fight this monster by himself. But low key, he kinda hanging for real. And I'm not gonna lie, Suigetsu is too tough a character to just be like a side character. Like this man was solo the entire One Piece verse by himself, and yet he gets no love for real. We don't even get him see a real fight low key. Y'all could at least show me in Box Kisame. But regardless, of course B wasn't letting that slide, making him get to making a tail beast bomb and blast it off, eviscerated Suigetsu, making him regret ever talking to Sasuke's psychotic ass, and then further obliterating the rest of the map with absolutely no regard for human life. Junk was so crazy, even the NPCs from the city turned around surprised, seeing the sky filled with smoke. But while we here, god damn, this got a noggin on him, don't he? Mans could put 2 more headbands up there and still have some scalp lift. You put 2 of these side by side, I might turn into Zion thinking it's Mariah Mills. And then defying all laws of physics, he somehow goes running off with that George Lopez cranium to go see what's all the commotion. And when they get there, they look down to see Team Taka in the water, all chilling around a fetus like somebody took a plan B. As we go in to see that it's my dog Suigetsu cooked, looking like something you putting in tissue. However you take that really lets me know what kind of person you are. But now that the MVP is halfway through the nether portal, Karin asks, what are they gonna do? Making Sasuke, who's looking like he need an inhaler, look to Jugo, just to see him looking like he need one too, before looking back at Karin, who also looks like she need one. So realizing they ain't got a chance in the world at this rate, I already know what's finna go down. Plot armor team takeover, everybody finna get some. Because Sasuke start having flashbacks of his whole crew of glazers sacrificing their life and soul for him, making them close his eyes and get a glimpse of Team 7. That boy getting soft. Pause. But before it kicks in, B starts speeding towards him, as we go in to see Sasuke's eye leaking like it's that time of the month, before flexing that Mangekyo and cooking that cephalopod, starting up a sushi boil, and he is straining too, ain't trying to have no leftovers. And B is in here straight spazzing too. Ain't nobody ever reacted to Amaterasu like this. This would probably make you think the attack is actually tough. Whole time, Kishimoto turning into an Uchiha version of Fang over Fang. But all of B's spazzing leads him to slamming down the tentacle right over Taka, making Karin try to get them out the way, and she actually does save them, but we just see a fat extremity come down over her, as Sasuke just barely able to cut it in time to save his #1 fan. But now she's still just sitting there as another one with flames on it comes falling down. And right as she starts to run away, she eats a non-consensual backshot, sending her tumbling through the water and getting added to the menu. Probably got it smelling like Magic Johnson at a cookout. All them diseases just getting put into the air. The whole Cloud Village finna have to quarantine. And little baby Jugo like, well, that is cooked and tries to get Sasuke to dip. But of course, being a loyal, caring man like the rest of the Uchiha, there's no way he's doing that. Nope. So he starts to focus, then brings out his other Mangekyo to absolutely lock in on Karin and completely diminish the flames. So now Jugo stretches over, snatching her up, leaving her to stare at this wall of fire that's overtaking B, before once again being a nice guy and taking away all the flames, leaving B just floating on the water with his back blacker than usual, but he's still alive. Barely. So now Taka goes walking off with the body, meaning that the job is done. Right.